Hello all, welcome to this. We're going to talk more wrestling because more wrestling went down. I actually watched probably so much wrestling today. This was like the lightest day I think of stuff other than maybe tomorrow, but when freaking WrestleMania 7 hours. This is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. And I'm not even wait until I get to the Ring of Honor show, but this is ridiculous. That amount of time. Anyway, so we'll start with a show that I would have liked to have gone to if I was I was in New Orleans, which took place. I believe it took place. Did it take place Thursday, I guess. Which was the WrestleCon show, Super Show. This was a good show, very good show. This show gets a lot of people go to the show because it has a good rep for being a very fun show, which I think is the problem that Evolve has, is because those shows are usually excellent. Every show I've seen from Evolve has been excellent. Has been really good, but they don't seem like they're fun. And so I kind of talked about that yesterday. But this was this show. It started with Pentagon Jr. or Penta versus Joey Janela. This was good. They teased a bunch of pile driver spots since the pile driver is banned, even though guys have been kind of doing. But anyways, so that was that. It was a good match. Was the opener. They just kind of went out there. Wasn't anything to kind of write home about, but you got to see both of the guys, so there was that. Then Joey Ryan came out and was doing a Andy Kaufman intergender challenge type thing, and since it's Andy Kaufman, Jerry the King Lawler came out to take him on, and they did the dick spot, except that Jerry Lawler threw fire at Joey Ryan's dick, and so got disqualified. It was fun. It was cool for what it was. And then we had a intergender match, which I'm not big on intergender matches usually. I'll give them a chance because I'll see how they go. But this was okay. It was Emma and Nicole Savoy, Tessa Blanchard, Shazza McKenzie, and Penelope Ford taking on Trevor Lee, Caleb Konley, MJF, Zane Riley, and Jake Manning. It was okay. It was the end was good. The girls went over. It was all right. Then you had Ishii taking on Jeff Cobb. This was very good. It dragged a little bit. It was almost great, but I thought it was very good. I really enjoyed it. This was a match I was looking forward to seeing. So there we go. Then you had Rey Horus and Rey Fenix taking on Flaminta and Bandito. This was great. It was a really good lucha match. This got me excited for the Crash show, which it shouldn't have gotten me excited for, but it did anyways. But this was great. Then we had Luchadors of the Past. We had Psicosis and Super Crazy, Chico El Luchador, with Juventud Guerrera, as there's supposed to be like a Mexico reunion. So they were all there, taking on Jason Cade, Matt Classic, and Teddy Hart. Yes, Teddy Hart and Matt Classic on the same team. That's just, yeah. This was fun. It was still just okay, but it was fun. It was, and this is the type of match usually you get at this show. So this was fun. Then you had Will Ospreay, Adam Brooks, Sammy Guevara, and Shane Strickland. This was pretty good. Not great, but it was pretty good. Good, fast-paced kind of match. You had David Starr, Brian Cage, and Minoru Suzuki taking on Sami Callihan, Juice Robinson, and Tanahashi. This was fun for what it was. Too much Sami Callihan for me. If there's one thing I've taken away from this weekend, I never got before what people got about Sami Callihan. I still don't get what people like about Sami Callihan. Just doesn't do anything for me. Just not. I don't know. Just not for me. Kenny Omega and Kota Ibushi taking on Chuck Taylor and a mystery partner, which wound up being Flip Gordon, which everyone kind of shat on. But the match was pretty good. It wasn't them going full out, but it was fun. So there was that. Then I watched the Crash Lucha Libre show, And yeah, this I should have missed. I should not have watched. But it was still pretty good, I guess. It was okay, I would say. So we started with Black Danger, Lacey Lane, Douglas James, Thunder Rosa, Joey Ryan, Barbie Hayden, Angelina, Angel Fashion, and Christy James, and a mixed intergender tag thing. It was okay. Like I said, I'm not really into the intergender thing, so it was alright. Then we had Daga taking on El Bandito. This was okay. It wasn't anything great. A lot of these matches were like good, except they were too short. This show I think went like 2 hours, if I remember right. But it just didn't leave anything for me. Match I was looking very forward to: Laredo Kid, Flip Gordon, and Ray Horus. This was good. Just a lot of flips, a lot of luchador stuff. So that was good. Then we had a three-way or four-way tag team match, I think. This was pretty good. Still was too short. So there was that. Then we had Willie Mack, Brian Cage, and Sami Callihan. Again, Sami Callihan could have done without, and I thought kind of brought down the match. So it was pretty good, I guess. Then we had Ray Fenix taking on the Flaminta. I can't even say his name because I'm trying to read it, and that's Flaminta. And this was pretty good. This was probably either the best or second best match on the show. Again, it was too short. But again, really awesome luchador stuff. Then you had like luchador legends, and I mean this. You had La Park, Nico El Machiro, and then Damien 666 taking on Mr. 450. Garza Jr. and Beasta 666. This is what it was. It was a bunch of old guys just going out there. It was a little too chaotic for me. Didn't really care for it, but it was fun seeing the dudes. So then you had Austin Aries versus Pentagon Jr. Again, this was pretty short, so they didn't get to like probably do as well as they could have. Still pretty good. Probably again, it would be the either best or second best match on the show, but it was what it was. Then we had the Mercury Rising pay-per-view from yesterday as well. This was pretty awesome. I will not lie. It was great. I'll say it was great. Lots of great stuff, but again, it was a Evolve show, so the crowd was very just kind of there. They had a good sized crowd, but they didn't have a great crowd, particularly since this was right before Joey Janela's spring break, and my friend Chase, as I said yesterday, was at both shows, and he said, there was a lot of people here, but there weren't as many people as there was at spring break. So there you go. And from the sounds of it, style battle, like drew nobody, like literally nobody went to that show. But so you had Air Fox, DJZ, and Trey Miguel taking on Austin Theory, Travis Banks, and Zachary Wentz. This was designed to be the traditional six-man tag. It was good. It was spotty. It was what it was. So there you go. Then we had Zack Sabre Jr. taking on Sawa. This was very good. I like this a lot. I like Zack Sabre Jr. a lot. I wish way back when Bryan Danielson left Ring of Honor, Daniel Bryan, that Ring of Honor would have brought him in, and if possible, I don't know, maybe they couldn't have done it. I don't know, but he was a guy that I thought they should have brought in and kind of given him that type of push, but they didn't. So, anyways, this was very good. Lots of mat wrestling, just good stuff. Really enjoyed that. Then we had James Drake and Anthony Harvey taking on Tracy Williams and Dominic Garanelli versus And the End. This was okay. I didn't really care for this. I felt it went long and was dragged and was just, I don't know. I've seen some people thought this was awesome, which I could understand, I guess, but this wasn't for me. Then LaFisto took on Halidid. This was okay. They really didn't get enough time to really do anything, so it was just kind of okay. Then you had Sakamoto taking on Keith Lee. This was awesome. Two big guys just beating the shit out of each other. So that's always I'm always up for that. So that was awesome. Then we had Chris Dickinson and Jaka taking on Walter and Timothy Thatcher. This was very good. I thought it kind of dragged a little bit, but you know, Walter was definitely the most over guy. Surprise, surprise. But was very, very good tag match. So there you go. Then we had Matt Riddle versus Will Ospreay. This was fucking awesome. Not gonna lie, it's amazing to watch these shows and see just how like more of a star Matt Riddle is, and the only guy that's like even close to him wasn't even on the show other than just a cameo, which would have been Nick Cage, who I've never really seen Nick Cage really, so it's kind of like whoa. But it's just kind of amazing that those are the two like guys, and yeah, so there you go. So that was yesterday. Again, that was a pretty great show. Then we had today's shows. So I watched TakeOver first because it started first, and then watched Ring of Honor. So I think it's safe to say that this was the best TakeOver ever. I feel pretty safe on saying that. Started with the ladder match. Adam Cole, EC3, Killian Dane, Lars Sullivan, Ricochet, and Velveteen Dream being crazy, and Ricochet was absolutely insane-o in this match, which you would expect, but everyone was just insane. This was probably the best ladder match I've seen in forever, and I really mean that. This was just, I really, really liked this. This was just good spots. There wasn't a lot of dead time, which we normally get. It was just really, 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 really good. Ricochet got to do some just absolutely nutso stuff. So that's always good to see. So there we go. Then we had Ember Moon versus Shayna Baszler. This was great as well. So much better than their match before that they had. It was kind of cool because they kind of sold that Shayna Baszler like hurt her shoulder and then like purposely tried to like put it into place, which that was kind of a cool spot. Shayna Baszler won, which I think is good because I think Ember Moon probably needs to go up to the main roster. And I think Baszler just is somebody different as champion and a different type of wrestler than they've really had as would work. I mean, I guess you could say that Asuka was close, but she's just so different. So there you go. Then we had the three-way tag match. This was the worst match. This just seemed to be there. Because you had the Undisputed, which meant that Adam Cole was doing double duty versus the Authors of Pain versus Pete Dunne and Roderick Strong. There was lots of cool spots. It was cool. It was chaotic. It was all of that stuff. Kind of a surprise ending where Roderick Strong finally joined Undisputed Era. I would imagine because they're a man short technically. So there we go. There. Then you had Almas versus Aleister Black. This was fucking awesome, what you would expect. I think people, it kind of sucks because people forget that, Almas was really good before he got to NXT, and then he got to NXT, and they kind of tried to change him a little too much. I think he lost his confidence, and now I think he's gotten him back, and now he's back to being fucking awesome again. And Aleister Black is just fucking awesome. So it was just really, really good stuff. Black won, which I guess is cool. I would rather Black had lost and him kind of move up to the main roster, but that's just me. But we shall see. We shall see. Then we had the main event, which was Johnny Gargano taking on Ciampa, which was, no rules, non-sanctioned match. If Johnny won, he got to come back to NXT. This was fucking amazing. Probably, there was parts of it that I felt like it went too long. Would probably be my only real gripe with the match. But, it was meant to be kind of, a grudge match. It came off to being a grudge match. Really, the only thing it was probably missing was blood, which you're not going to get in WWE, so there was that. But yeah, it was a great match, and that's just a fucking awesome show. So go see that show. Then you had Supercard of Honor, which was the biggest show Ring of Honor's ever done. They I believe they opened everything up, and they actually ended up doing 6,000 people. I guess we will find out. But yeah, so they on Facebook they did the semifinals of the Women of Honor match, which was interesting because the people that you would think should have gone over were not the ones that went over for this, in my opinion. You would want the two best people. You didn't get the two best people. But you had Kelly Kine versus Awatina, I believe is how, and that was okay, or Mawa, whatever her name was, and that was okay. And then you had Sumi taking on Tennille Dashwood. That was pretty good. I liked that. I thought it was good. But again, Sumi and Kelly won, which we'll get to that later. So the opener was Chucky T versus Jonathan Grisham. This was a really, really good opener. Good, fast paced. The crowd was into it. You could tell the crowd was hot, which we will get to later in the show. But yeah, this was really good. Worth that match is worth seeing. Then you had Punish Martinez taking on Ishii. This was a really good big man match in which Ishii really just gave Martinez a lot and really let Martinez shine. Really felt like this was kind of like a match for him to like really shine in. And people often joke that he's like the good version of Baron Corbin. He's like the non-boring version, and I really think that. And him with Ishii really works really well. And I think we will see, but really felt like it elevated Martinez, so that was good. Then we had Kota Ibushi versus Adam Page. This was freaking great. It's hard not to have a great match with Kota Ibushi. Adam Page was definitely there. Lots of good spots, lots of just craziness, which you would expect from both guys. So that was excellent. Then you had the Women of Honor title match, which seemed like it was botched at the end, but who knows? It just came off really weird. The match wasn't very good, so yeah, which is unfortunate because it felt like the girls deserved more than that. So there you go. Then we had the tag team champions match, SoCal Censored versus Flipboard and the Young Bucks, and a ladder match. This was really, really good. The only real drawback of this, you had really crazy spots. The only really big drawback of this is they had the Kingdom come out and interfere, which worked with the match. Didn't take that much, but it was still kind of like really, but awesome match still. Then you had the Briscoes taking on Jay Lethal and Tanahashi. This was really good. It was just kind of there. It wasn't as good as I was hoping it would be, but it was still pretty good. Then you had Silas Young versus Kenny King. This was okay. Didn't want to see this match. This was a match that I was hoping they would put farther down on the card for the TV Championship. They did have Austin Aries come out and talk on commentary during this, so maybe we'll get something Silas Young and Austin Aries down the line. I don't know. But yeah, and the finish of this wasn't very good. Was just very WWE-ish. And then we had Cody versus Kenny Omega, which did not main event, which was stupid because this was the match most people came for, and there was no way that Dalton Castle and Marty Scurll were going to be able to go to have a better match. They weren't going to be able to go past this because the show had gone very long. I would say like the last three matches and there was an angle with Bubba Ray, which was just filler for time, which just, none of this just I think worked. The Cody versus Omega match was not as good as everybody hoped, but it was the first match in what will probably be a longer feud, and it told a good story. The end of the match progressed the story better, so all of that was good. They went out there. They did have a really good match, and it you could tell that eventually we will get to what I think everyone wanted. I mean, this is the match everyone kind of came to see as well. Everyone that I was on Twitter that was at the show said as soon as this match was over, people started leaving because really no one really gave a crap about Dalton Castle versus Marty Scurll. Which they came out and then they had this really slow traditional championship match, which isn't what they should have been doing. It should have been faster paced. It should have been more like a shorter match. It was already a very, very long show, and then this match went on and on and on and on. And they had I would say, if it wasn't for all of that, they probably had a good to great match, but because it was so late, because it was so long, because no one really cared, it just was kind of there, and it really, really hurt the match. And this show, in my opinion, if you want to look at a show where you kind of just on Delirious, the last half of the show is a great example of it, and is a pretty good indictment, I would say, against him as Booker, to me personally. So it sucks because I feel like it's a skippable show, even though it had some really great stuff on it, and it had some newsworthy stuff on it. It felt like a skippable show. But so I have talked way long enough, I'm sure. So I should be back tomorrow. Talk about WrestleMania. I'm sure I might have the girl with me. I don't know. We'll see. Probably not, because the show's going to be fucking long as shit. I'm not looking forward. I'm really not. I'm not looking forward to watching that show. I'm not. I watched so much great wrestling, and I think the show will be great. And it just seems like it's going to be fun. But anyways, that's it. Talk to you later. Bye.